Yes, it is. Welcome, everybody. This is Dawn's 11 o'clock Friday class. We are in book number 15, Simple Songs. And this is going to be a level 3 class, meaning we're a little bit farther than just the Black Lottery songbook. It's not just going to be Where Do My Fingers Go, although that's still very important. We are going to start making arrangements, easy arrangements on your instruments so that you can start applying the music to the instrument that you have. I do have worksheets, and every week I will send 2 worksheets. I will send this week's song, which is Beauty and the Beast, and I will send next week's song, which is Blue Skies. And the reason I'm sending next week's song always is so that if you want, you can print it ahead of time. And that way, if you want to take notes on this, it's absolutely fine. Use this. You can also just take notes right in your book if that's what you want. But this gives you some pretty good suggestions. I created these, and I think they're very helpful to have something written in front of you. And it's basically what I do in the other classes, but I've just got it all printed out. Okay, so what do we know about Beauty and the Beast? It's on page 10 of Simple Songs. This was a Broadway-inspired ballad, and it was first recorded by actress Angela Lansbury, who was the voice of the character Mrs. Potts in the animated Disney film Beauty and the Beast. Later on, it was recorded as a duet by Celine Dion and Peebo Bryson. So just a really pretty song, and hopefully you guys will fall in love with it as much as I have. As far as a roadmap, we don't have one. Woohoo! So, so all you have to do is play the song. It is 4 pages long, though, so you do have to either turn a page or take photocopies of 2 pages and then tape them all out together, which is fine too. All right, so what are we looking at? Features. The song starts in the key of F and then transposes to the key of G in measure 23 and 24. Okay, so Lourdes, I gave you some advice this morning, and I told her that the last chord of the song is 99% the key of the song, and that's what we should use the intro. Start the
Okay.
intro with that chord. This is the 1% where it doesn't work. This is the
Oh,
1% where the song starts in one key and then gets written in a completely different key. It goes from the key of F to the key of G. You don't have to transpose or anything like that. You just read the notes and the chords that are there, and it will transpose for you. Okay? Any questions on this?
okay, done.
Yeah.
So we start with the intro with the key of F, not G.
Correct. On this one, it is that 1% that it doesn't work. Yep.
Okay.
And you always, always let your ears be the final judge. If you start this song in the key of G, it's not going to sound right. It's going to sound like you're starting a different song. And so
Okay.
then you go, okay, this is the 1% that doesn't work. So then you have to figure out what's going on. And all you have to do is email me and say, hey, in this song, I don't know which chord to use for the intro, and I'll let you know. And that's really all you need to know. But yes, this song starts in the key of F, and then it transposes to the key of G, measures 23 and 24. All right, so where are measures 23 and 24? The top of page 12, measure 23 is the top line, second measure. And measure 24 is the top line, third measure. And those chords, E flat, F, G, those are the transition chords that take you from one key to another. So it's transitioning for you, and then it's repeating the song. It would be as if you were playing a song and decided to transpose. Use your transpose button and then play it in the same key. But it's doing it for you, and you just have to learn the new chords and the new finger positions for the song. So it's actually kind of a good finger exercise for you as well. Okay? Now, as far as chords, because it's written in 2 different keys, you will have a ton of chords. And that's why I list them all. I've got them all listed. Those are chords that are all in the song. And I did forget one, so I had to handwrite it in. And the optional chords are always going to be your 7 chords. Why are they optional? Because the tonality is still there. If you are playing a C chord, if you play a C7 chord, which is optional, hear the difference? It's a little slight difference where the 7 is a lead-in chord and your ear is waiting for the next chord. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be an F chord from a C7. Those are what we call chord progressions. The 7s, your ear is waiting for that next chord. So that's why they're optional. You can still play the song without using the 7s. Now the rule for 7s is always the letter -2. Remember, you always want to stay in your little box by your chords. So you want to stay north of that red C. Do not go below that red C. That's going to be the end. And then the B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, that's the last one. So your hand is just going to be right in this area here. So when you're looking to find a C7, here comes Rose, let's let her in. You find a C, it doesn't matter which one, and go down 2. 1, 2. Well, it's C and B flat, but if I play it up here, I'm out of position. If I play it down here, I'm out of position. So I want to take the one note that's out of the box and bring it back into that little box that we had, and a C7 will be played pinky and thumb. Why is that? Because again, we're playing chords in this position so that we can eventually reach all of our chords. And the next chord is usually an F. Well, guess what? My pointer is right now here on top of the F. So I don't even have to look. That's why we play our chords in one position only. Don't give your left hand a choice. That's the secret to easy play chords. Do not give your left hand a choice. Now, yes, when you see me in advanced classes, some of those chords we have to go out of position. But as you're getting started with easy play right now, don't give your left hand a choice, and your fingers will thank you because they will eventually be able to feel whatever chord they need to go to. All right, you have an F chord. Just go right down the list. You know that one. It's pointer on F, pinky on C. B flat. It's always going to be reaching up with your thumb to the B flat. Just touch and release. Do not go backwards with your pinky. Not allowed. Your thumb goes up to the B flat. Just touch and release. E flat. E flat's going to be your third finger. Why? Because that's the closest one. Just back one. E flat. G, D. D is fourth finger. A minor. A minor. Now minors are, you must play 2 fingers with a minor because it's the letter and a little m in a box. If it's in a box, you must play 2 fingers for the minors. You can't just cheat and say, okay, it's an A little m, let me just play A. Not going to sound. Hear the difference? A, that's a major chord. A minor, ooh, so that changes the tonality. It now becomes a sad, scary movie music type of a chord, and so you have to use the 2 fingers for a minor. The rule is the letter plus 3 up the keyboard. A plus 3 up. 1, 2, 3. So it's C and A, and again, this takes me out of the box, so you don't want to play it up here, and you don't want to have to move your hand and play it down here. So we're going to play it C and A, wide. Again, that keeps your hand in this position. So you just have to memorize that always. A minor is pinky on C, thumb on A, and you can write it right in your book. And if you've got my chord charts, I do give you the little numbers, 5 and 1, that go with the letters so that you know which fingers go where. C minor, that's the next one. C minor is C plus 3 or C and E flat. Oh, listen to how that changed it. And it's the pinky on C and the third finger on E flat. Then you have a G minor. This is the hardest chord you'll ever have to learn in easy play. G minor is pointer on G, thumb on B flat. See how that's getting you away from your hand position just a little bit. Normally our thumb goes on G, but this, I don't want to see this. Don't cross over with your pointer or you're going to start getting your hand all mixed up. The pointer goes on G, the thumb goes on the B flat. 9 times out of 10, the next chord's a C or a C7. So you play that C7 like this and then the F chord. So again, your fingers will thank you if you learn your chords one way and one way only. Okay? E minor. E minor is pretty easy. It's E and G, E plus 3. And it's third finger on E, just like where it is, and thumb on G, just like where it is. And the one last chord that I forgot, and I had to hand write it in here, B minor. B minor is kind of like A minor. It's the letter plus 3, but it's out of the box if I go up here. It's also out of the box if I go down here. So you want to play it wide. And it can either be with the pinky and the thumb or the fourth finger and the thumb, whichever one's more comfortable for you. D and B, dogs and butterflies. Okay, I know we did those kind of fast, but you've got them written down here, and you should have chord charts. If you need chord charts, you can catch them on some of my Patreon videos, or you can just email me, and I'll make sure you get a copy. Okay? No questions on chords? We're good, huh? All right. Let's talk about what kind of styles work with this song. Music styles. Rhythm plus orchestration. Music styles. Okay. Always work left to right. Make sure that you choose this first before you start messing with the sounds. And usually if you've got presets, that's where you want to be anyway. Start with song setup. Most of you have song setup. I'm on the Imperial right now, so if I go to keypad and I go to alphabet, I'm going to go to B, song setup, and it will take me to Beauty and the Beast. And you touch it. Now, one thing that song setup does, this is something that's true with all the instruments, it will not turn on your rhythm preset because it is choosing for you a specific sound on this keyboard and a specific sound on this keyboard for the song, for that song. So try the two sounds that it gives you first. It may or may not be exactly the same as rhythm preset, but half the time it's not. Half the time Bill Curry and the designers of the instruments used two completely different sounds. So try song setup first. This comes up at 65 on easy 4/4, which happens to be soft and easy with no variation. I think 65 is a little slow. I think up to about 70 is a little bit better, but that's totally do it where it feels comfortable for you. One of the other instruments will give you soft and easy guitars, and it probably gives the same sounds, which would be, what did I see here? Piano and strings, and a flute on the bottom. And those two sounds are beautiful for this song. So if you are looking for other rhythms, you might want to go down the presets and go, where can I find something that's going to be piano strings with something pretty on the bottom? And yes, you want to use those presets then because that's when it'll make it easy for you. Don't worry about coming up here. That's the hard part. I have also chosen, like for example, soft and easy. You have lots of different styles in soft and easy. One of them is smooth piano 4/4. Fabulous background, but I did not like, oh, this one was good on 0. Okay, it was a different one. 0 gave me piano and strings, and it gave me an English horn on the bottom with a flute. So that combination of sounds is perfect for the song. So if I wanted to use smooth piano 4/4, I would just put down rhythm preset 0. What if I wanted to use something like soft gospel or something different? You can use any of these. Basic soft and easy is also very nice. Just up the tempo a little bit, back to 70. But I do not like what rhythm preset 0 gives me. It's a guitar and a flute. That's okay. I could have used that. But if I go to number 8, it gives me piano and strings and a bell on the bottom. So you want to try different things and just have some fun. You would look at your presets and go, oh, here's a bell and a trumpet, or strings and a bell. That would work. So you want to just try what's going on with, now how do I know? Because this organ tells me in the window what my sounds are. And then you try what you want and then make sure you write down rhythm preset 10 if that's the one you want to use. And that's why I give you extra lines. Write down what works for you. Write down what works for you. If you've got this sheet, I also give you some arranging tricks and tips. We'll go over this last. But this is part of what I want you to start getting in level 3 is how do I take this song and put it on my instrument and make it sound pretty without having to do a lot of stuff. No memorizing presets, no pushing a lot of buttons, not going to do that. That we do in the advanced classes Monday and Wednesday. This is going to be about doing easy things and learning where things are on your instrument that are already there, ready to go for you. Okay, I'm going to play it first. Questions? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Dawn. What number of the preset are you using in this particular song?
Well, it depends on which background I'm using. If I'm using song setup, I don't use any preset. I'm just using the sounds that are already there.
Oh, okay. So you don't use any of the presets number if you are on the song setup itself.
Correct. Unless you don't like them. If you don't like what's on song setup, then you come to rhythm preset and try all of these. Okay. But if you've got something really nice on song setup, it's going to give you 2 sounds already, so you don't have to do anything.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm going to play it on what song setup brings me here. All I'm doing is upping the tempo just a little bit from 65 to 70. And I want you to listen for where the change is, the transition. Okay, I'm going to hit mute again just because I'm hearing some stuff. So I want you to listen for where the changes are. I want you to watch what my hand is doing. And if you've got this sheet, you'll be reading where I'm doing my changes. And what I've done is I've numbered the measures. Well, we'll go over that again later, but if you listen, it might help you. And you can also watch where my fingers are. Here we go, song setup. Just up the tempo a little bit. Beauty and the Beast. That was song setup. Oop, here comes Rosalind. Let's let her in. Okay. Song setup gave me piano and strings on top, and it gave me pretty flutes on the bottom. And it already had the duet on the bottom there for me. But I added, you saw me poking a few things, but
Yes.
not a lot. Not a lot. I went from upper keyboard to lower keyboard. That's the easiest way to change the sound. And I also added a golden harp at one point. And I added an upper harmony duet at one point. And then at the end of the song, I took off the golden harp and the duet. So I started as small as I began the song. So I started small, kind of got bigger, and then at the end I got real small again. And that's just
Dawn.
one way to arrange a song. Yes.
Yes. On page 12,
Uh-huh.
first line,
Yes.
and then on the G chord, I saw you like press something on the right side. What is that? Is that a transpose button or
No,
what?
no. I'm glad you heard the transpose, Lourdes, because that's what's happening there. The music itself is transposing. I'm not touching transpose, but you
Oh.
heard the transpose. That's
Right.
exactly
Well,
where
what did you touch on the right-hand
I
side?
touched duet over here so that
Oh,
I had a
duet.
bigger sound on the top. Yes, I touched
Oh,
Yes, I touched duet or AOC over there so that I would have a bigger sound here. But the transpose is written in because now, starting there, I am playing everything now in the key of G. Just by following the chords and the notes that are written here in the song, it's transposing for me. I don't have to touch any transpose.
okay. But do I have a duet or AOC on my
You
Royal?
most certainly do. Yes, you do. It's been
I
so long.
have to discover all this when I go back home.
Yeah, no,
That's
your
funny.
instrument is very
Okay.
similar to this. So you're going to
Right.
find everything that I'm doing here. It's going to be in the same spot, in the same
Okay.
places as your Royale.
Okay, thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Anybody else have any questions?
Question. Dawn, can we presume that the song setup, when we have them,
Mhm.
is the Lowry's what they thought was the best version of the song according to the original?
Not necessarily according to the original. According to what Bill Curry, who was the designer of all the Lowrys, thought was the best. Now, I know sometimes Dennis Aw helped him design things and Jim Vogelman helped him design things. But for the most part, it was Bill Curry, and he did it according to how he thought it should go. And yes, most of the time it is close to what the original is. And so it's a great suggestion to start. Now, some of his song setups, as some of you are probably finding out, you don't like how he did it. And that's fine. You don't have to like everything that they did in the song setup, but it's a great place to start. It's just a wonderful place to say, oh, okay, I kind of like that. Now, I did not necessarily like what was happening with the touch bar on the song setup, because song setup, I don't need the intro. It was all right. It was all right. It wasn't my idea of what a fill-in should be on this particular song. But these are things that you can then say, okay, I have to choose something that's going to be better than that for the fill-in if you're going to use a lot of fill-ins. So yeah, it's a place to start, and then you start choosing your own rhythms. And in this case, almost anything in that soft and easy column is going to be fine. And if I had it at 70, I liked it at 70. I also did it on the soft and easy guitars, which is what some of the instruments do bring up. And I had it on piano strings and electric piano because it worked. I think that was rhythm preset 8. I thought that was the best. And I also tried it on basic soft and easy, and I just left it on rhythm preset 0. And I tried it on smooth piano 4/4, and I think that was on rhythm preset 0. But that's then what you need to do to find what you want if you don't like or you just want other alternatives. Song setup is a wonderful place to start. It's going to give you top sound, bottom sound. What does not come on is your rhythm preset. That does not come on. So don't go right from song setup, and let's just do this. Song setup, Beauty and the Beast, everything turns off. These all turn on, and now what's off? Rhythm preset is off. Why? Because what was chosen is a sound here, a sound here, a tempo was chosen, an intro was chosen, a rhythm was chosen. So if you don't like these sounds or you get sick of them, a lot of people have a tendency to say, okay, I'm going to go to my presets. And if you go to your presets without first touching rhythm preset, what happens? They become general presets. If you do not have a rhythm preset lit up, or a bank preset lit up, or a category preset lit up, then these 10 become general presets. And that means that I love these at Christmas, but they don't always work regularly. So let's say I'm sick of these sounds, and I decide to go to number 5. No. Or I go to number 2. Oh no, that's terrible already. No, see, the general presets are not the way to go if you're sick of those sounds. First thing you do is touch the rhythm preset or a vintage or a normal after your song setup. If you don't like these two, you want to move on, now touch normal, vintage, rhythm preset. Okay, that's all different verbiages for the same button. Because now what that does is it chooses different sounds, not necessarily for the song, but perfect for the rhythm. Perfect for the rhythm. You might not like them all, but you're going to find 1 or 2 of them in there that work for the song. That's a tough concept for a lot of people to understand. So if you have some questions, please feel free to ask them. Don't say, I didn't get it, because this needs to be repeated several times.
Dawn, could I ask you a question?
Most definitely.
Okay, I put in song setup, and when I pressed Beauty and the Breeze, I can say it, Beauty and the Bees, it didn't come up with, it comes up with 9-foot grand piano and ocarina on the bottom.
Yeah,
So-
it's good. Yeah. Different organs are going to give you different things.
So
Which
I have-
rhythm did it give you?
Pardon me, it gave me easy 4.
Okay.
But in order to get the strings and piano on the top, I have to hit the normal preset. Then it will come up.
Don't do that yet. What did
No.
it give you when you press Beauty, when you touch Beauty and the Beast?
It gave me a piano, 9-foot grand piano.
On
And
the top?
right,
Did it
and
give you-
arena.
okay. And the bottom?
Yeah.
The bottom, it gave you what?
It says ocarina. Wait, let me get it back
Which is a
again.
type of flute. Ocarina is a
Yeah.
type of flute.
Okay, so I hit Beauty and the Beast
Uh-huh.
under easy 4/4, and I had 70 rhythm because I said it. And
Okay.
then on the side, it says 9-foot grand piano on the
That's on the
top.
top. Okay.
And
That's perfect.
Bottom, it's sax and ocarina.
Okay. All right.
But I don't have the
That's
string.
okay. But try what the song setup is, and it's going to be different on different organs.
Okay,
Okay, so
But the-
try what was given to you on the organ that you have. If you
Okay.
don't like it, that's when you go to rhythm preset or
Right.
vintage or something else,
okay,
and then you can go up and down the list and see what's going to work best
okay.
for your
try-
taste.
Give you first, because you like, if it doesn't give you any strings on the top, if I've only got a 9-foot grand piano, can I add strings on my?
Yes. Oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can just
Okay.
go up to your tabs and add some strings if you want.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. See,
Dawn?
you're starting to learn. That's a wonderful
Yeah.
thing.
thank you.
Dawn, I
Yes.
have a question too.
Okay, Sue.
you
How
cannot
come
skip
that they change on the different organs?
Why do they change them on different organs?
They're just added features, right?
Well, if there's more, yeah, if you've got an organ that has more rhythms or more stuff, Bill Curry has a tendency to
That one?
use a lot of the newer stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
yes, he did change, and every now and then he just went totally real fast on one and real slow on another organ. You know, it's like, how much coffee did you have when you were doing this, Bill? So yeah, sometimes he didn't go back and refer to what he had done in past organs. Okay, a lot of times he used some of the newer rhythms that were on the new organs when he put stuff in. The man's a genius. He absolutely, if you've never met him, oh my gosh, he is an absolute genius. And as goofy as they come. Some of you probably saw him at Organ Fest and went, oh my goodness, okay. But he's a musical genius. Yep, he's the guy who did all the designs for this. But that's the answer. It's going to be
Wow.
different on each organ.
Dawn,
Yep.
is there a button on the Rialto that's supposed to say rhythm preset?
On the Rialto, it's going to say, what's over here?
I have
Style setup.
styles.
Style
setup.
setup.
Okay,
Yeah.
Style setup, yes.
okay.
Different verbiage, but the same thing. So yes, after you do song setup, don't just go to your general presets. Now you want to hit style setup. This is for the Inspire, the Fanfare, the Journey, the Rialto. Style
Okay.
setup.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Good questions. Anybody else before we move on? Nope. Okay. If you question this later, if you go, oh my gosh, that's just, I'm not quite sure what she said, do not be afraid to ask again. If you have to ask again next week or you have to email me or call me, please do so, because that's one of the most important things you can learn is that song setup gives you two sounds, but no rhythm preset. It does not turn on your style setup or your rhythm preset. So when you want to move on to new sounds, then you have to touch that so that it does change all those.
So what were you playing on the bottom there? You had a piano and strings on top, and then you played something on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
What did you play what was on the bottom on that organ?
On the bottom on this one was a flute.
Okay, all right. Okay,
Yep.
so when you went down, you were playing the flute.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, when I played it this first time, it was song set up on the Imperial. All I did was up the tempo 5 because I think
Okay.
65 was a little slow.
Right, so draggy.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay, now, if you want to put numbers on your measures, usually when you number measures, you put a little number with a circle around it right at the beginning of a measure so that you can tell which measure you want to do this on. And then I can give you instructions and say, at measure 1, do this. At measure 9, do this. Okay, so I've already counted the measures for you. And measure 9 is on that first page right there, the end of the, see it?
Yep.
The last measure on the page. So you want to
Yep.
put a little 9, put a little circle around it. I also wrote my instructions up there so I knew what to do. And I just put a big L, go to the lower.
Mm-hmm.
Now, page 11, third line. At the beginning of that measure is measure 16. Measure 16. Put a circle around it right here at the beginning of line 3. That's where you're going to put a U. You're going to go back to the upper. And you may wish to add a golden harp. Some of you have golden harp over on this side. So you got to check and see where it is. If you don't have golden harp, don't worry about it. But if you do have golden harp, find where it is and just touch it.
That was on the third line, right?
Third line, measure 16, which is the first measure of line 3. Yes. Go back to the upper keyboard and add GH, golden harp. Or not, that's just something extra to find on your instrument. A lot of times if we don't write it in, we forget to do it. We're more creatures of vision, and we think we're going to remember things, and we don't. So write it in. And I use pencil. You know why? Because the next time I play it, I might want to arrange it differently. So I might want to erase and do something different. Okay, let's turn the page, page 12. The top line, I already told you, but in case you didn't do it, the beginning of the second measure right over that E flat chord is measure 23. and the next measure over the G chord is measure 24. That is your transition to the next key from F to G. And at measure 24, you want to either add an AOC, which is any old chord. It's automatic organ computer. Any old chord, or duet. And those are over here on this right-hand side.
Dawn, I have a question.
Go ahead.
The difference between duet and AOC, is it a subtle or what?
What does duet mean?
Two.
Two, correct. So when you put it on duet, what it's actually doing is it's adding a second note that it's pulling out of the chord. Now, always your AOCs, your harmonies, your duets, your three parts, your country is dependent upon what chord am I playing? What chord am I playing? Let's turn all this off and just put on easy. If I'm playing a C chord and I'm playing an F note, there's one note. Now, if I put on duet and play that same F note, it's going to add a second note, but it's pulling it out of the C chord. It's choosing one of the notes in the C chord, but it's only going to play two notes at a time.
Okay, okay.
The difference between that and AOC is that AOC is going to give you a full chord, a real full chord. And again, it's dependent upon which chord you are playing in the left hand. So now if I play a C chord and an F note with the AOC, it's really fat. Duet, one note. Hear the difference?
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't
I
want,
see.
sometimes you want a little harmony, sometimes you want a great big fat harmony.
Okay.
And so that's, again, something that you try and see which one works the best for you for that particular song.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yep.
AOC is big, duet is little.
Hmm.
Good
Wow.
question.
So Dawn, if you play a G chord there where the change is and you change the key, you're playing a G chord. And if you put on AOC, you're going to get three notes of
Of a G
with
chord.
with the G chord that will go along with the B. Is that it?
Well,
I mean-
it doesn't matter what note's going on up here. I could still stay on that F chord. Let's do that. I'm
But if
going to
you
play
got-
a C chord and an F note. And it's going to give me AOC. It's going to play a C chord underneath. Now I'm going to change to a G chord, but I'm not going to move the F. And listen to the change. Ah. The chord changes. The harmony notes change according to the chord that I'm playing. The melody note is whatever happens to be here.
Okay. I see. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good questions. All right, so now we know where measure 24 is. Let's go to page 13. Measure 39 is line 3, first measure. First measure. Measure 39. And that's where you want to put minus GH and minus AOC or minus duet, whatever you put on. You just want to take off the AOC and the duet. Now, if you need an extra measure to do that, guess what? You can go ahead and do that. You can just do a fill in or a fill in with your foot and give yourself a whole extra measure to turn stuff off. That's okay to do. That's your arrangement. But that way, when you end up that last phrase, tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme, you're doing it on it's a little smaller. You've taken out some of the background and you've taken out the harmony and ended up with just that simple Mrs. Potts singing just that last line. So what I'm doing is I'm starting to get you to think about how to arrange a song with some easy things. Yes, go ahead.
AOC on the Rialto, where is it?
It's under harmony. You have a button that says harmony. And when you touch
Yes.
the harmony button, they're all going to show up in the window.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
know.
And then you just touch the one that you want.
Okay.
Did you find
Okay.
it? Those
Alright.
of you with Inspires, those of you with some of the bigger organs where instead of having your harmony right on board, you have it, have a harmony button. You touch it, or even some of the bigger organs like this one, if I touch more, They all show up in the window, and then I just touch the one that I want.
I know you can because I've done it
Okay.
before.
All right.
Sorry about that, but I can't find certain buttons you're talking about.
It's okay. That's why you're supposed to ask them, because that's what this is about. Let's find out how these things work on your organ.
Okay, thank you.
You're
Dawn?
welcome. Yeah.
Excuse me, Don.
Yes.
When you say take off AOC and
Take
then
off-
get a filling, do I do the like the FX where I strike my foot down on the pedal to the right side?
Yes.
That's
yes.
the, that's the filling.
Or you can be touching the touch bar. Now, what
Oh,
I
the
mean
touch
by
bar.
that is when you've got on, let's go back to this. Let's go back to duet, golden harp, and I'm going to play the first two lines. Rising in the east, tale as old as time. Okay, so I'm going to just play the first two lines on page 13 with the duet and with the golden harp. Nope, I don't need an intro, sorry. Now here is where I want to add, or I'm sorry, I'm going to do a fill-in. I'm going to take off golden harp, take off duet, then I'm going to start playing measure 39. So what I'm saying is give yourself a chance. If you've got two buttons to push, give yourself a chance to do that without going and missing your place. You can put in a whole extra measure of FX or fill-in, either with your foot or with this, to give yourself time to turn things off.
Okay.
That's going to be the hardest part of your song, by the way, because it is a two-button push. Normally, I have you do one-button pushes to keep things easy.
So then, Dawn, we take off the duet and the golden harp in that rest place on the second line.
That's what I do. Yep.
Then we maintain.
That's what I do. And then just move ahead with that E minor chord, with that last phrase. If you can do it fast enough, don't add an extra measure. But if you need an extra measure, take it. It's your arrangement.
Dawn?
Right, let's do some fingering, and then we'll have time. We're gonna play it one more time, and I'm going to hopefully have you play it along with me, one hand at a time if that's all you can do. But we're gonna slow it down so that we can get this, because I want you to get where the rests are, where the eighth notes are. You've got some sharps and flats in here. I want you to make sure you get all those. The arranging part of it is the last thing you should do. The first thing you need to do is know where your hands go, where do my fingers go to make the song sound pretty. Okay?
Okay.
All right, let's do some fingering. Pencils out. A1, C2, E4, F5, B flat 2. We try not to put that thumb on a black key if we don't have to. End of line 1. A1, C2, E3, F4, G5. F1, G2, A3, B flat 4, C5. C5, B flat 4, A3, G2, F1. Okay, here you have a choice of doing it two different ways. Let's do this one. B flat 4, A3, F1, D2. Put a circle around it. That means it's a crossover. C1, check mark. Lift your hand and reposition it. End of the page. A1, C2, E4, F5. Top of page 11, B flat 2. A1, C2, E3, F4, G5, check mark. We're going to lift our hand and reposition it. You're at the end of a sentence. A3, G2, A3, C5. Second line, F1. Now you can either do a check mark and do F3. Yeah, let's just do that. Check mark, F3, E2, F3, A5. B flat 1. Aha. Here's the time we do have to put that thumb. That's because we're reaching. It's easy. Check mark. A3, B flat 4, G2, A3, F1. Check mark if you wish, but you do have a lot of rest, so no worries. Next line, F1, G2, A3, B flat 4, C5. Next phrase, D1, E2. Look out here. F is a 1. Circle it. You are doing a thumb tuck. If you don't, you'll never reach up to that high D. The high D is a 5. Next line, C4. F1, G2, A3, B flat 4, C5. C5, C5, B flat 4, A3, G2. Turn the page. F1, F1, G2, A3, F1, G2. B1, D2, F sharp 4, G5. Second line, C1. Check mark. Lift your hand. Reposition it. B1, D2, C sharp 3, G4, A5. Third line, G1, A2, B3, C4, B5. I'm sorry, that's a D. D5, I'm sorry. D5, C4, B3, A2, G1. That's a pretty simple song. You're just going to go up and down. C5, B4, A3, G2, D1. Check mark. Certain as the sun, B1, D2, F sharp 3, G5, C1. Check mark. Let's go to the top of the next page. B1, D2, F sharp 3, G4, A5. Check mark. Lift your hand and reposition it. B3, A2, B3, D5, C1.
No, it's a G.
You are correct. I read the chord. G1. Check mark. G3, F sharp 2. Thank you, Barb.
That's
G3,
okay.
B5, C1. Check mark. B3, C4, A2, B3, G1. Next line. B3, A2, B3, D5, G1. Check mark. G3, F sharp 2, G3, B5, low C1, check mark. B3, C4, A2, B3, and G1. Any questions about fingering?
John, could you repeat the second from last line? The first B was a 3.
Yes.
Okay.
B3, A2, B3, D5, G1.
Oh, G1. Okay. That's where you had a check mark.
And then
Okay.
check mark. And then G3.
Oh,
On
Yes.
page 13,
Uh-huh.
second line, first measure.
First measure, G1, check mark, G3, F sharp 5. I'm sorry. Now I'm really going to mess you up. Let's do that again. G1, check mark. Next G is a 3, F sharp 2, G3, B5, C1.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It gets a little tricky in there, but I think if you just lift your hand and just jump it up, you'll be fine. Anybody else? Pretty song. Pretty song. I think we actually, yeah, we're going to play it. If you're close to your instrument, you want to do one hand, just do one hand. Make sure you are all muted so that we don't fight with stuff here. I am going to slow it down. Let's put it on basic, soft, and easy, something a little different. And we're going to slow it down to 58. Let's see if that works. You know, I don't think you can even hear the beat here. Let me go to basic country. There, now you can hear the beat. I don't necessarily like the sound, but the beat is something you can hear. Okay, let's try this. 1, 2, 3, 4, rest 2. Rest, 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 rest. 3, 4, rest, rest. 3, 4, rest, rest. 3, 4, rest, rest. 3, 4, rest 2. 2, 3, 4, rest, rest. 2, 3, 4, rest, rest. Turn the page. E flat, F, transition to G. 2. Rest, 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 rest. Rest, rest, G, rest. Three, 4, rest, rest. Rest, rest, top of the page. Rest, 4, E minor, 2. Okay. It's a nice song to play. This one's kind of fun to play. Yeah. Yeah.
Question. I think I missed something on page 12,
Okay.
line, the last measure. My fingering is off. Could you
On
read
which line?
my fingering on third line, page 12, last measure?
The last measure is G1, C5, B4, A3, G2, and then the fourth line D1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
On
Yeah.
the third line on that page.
Which
It's
line?
the third line on page, that would be page 13.
13.
Yeah,
Okay.
third line, the last measure.
Last measure, G1, check mark. G3, F sharp 2, G3, B5.
Okay, I got it. Look.
Dawn, I have
Yeah.
a question. When you're practicing, you said tempo 58, but what was, I guess the rhythm? Did you say soft and easy guitar or?
Yeah, soft and easy. Now I changed it to basic country because I
Basic
wanted you
country,
to
okay.
hear the beat. Okay, so this is one of those songs that almost any slow rhythm is going to work as long as you're getting a nice even rhythm. It's going to work.
Okie dokie, thank you.
Okay. So that's why I give you a chance to change some sounds if you wish.
I heard
Again, song setup is usually going to be your best bet. But when we practice, I always go back to basic country because it's an easy beat for everybody to hear. That's why I do that. All right, I'm going to put on Patreon today's song sheet, just in case you missed it. And then I'm going to put on next week's song sheet, which is Blue Skies. So you have something to look at and something to write on when you're doing class. So I'll always give you the 2 sheets, this week's song and next week's song. So you've got them.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions before we go? You guys are awesome. This was a fun class today. You asked all the right questions. It was incredible.
Would drive you crazy.
No. I love it when you guys ask good questions.
Dawn,
Yeah.
on the first page, last measure on the F, I noticed you play it down.
Mhm.
Yes, that's where I put my hand down.
When do you back up to the upper?
Back up on page 11, line 3, first measure, measure 16. Put a U, so you go back up. Ever just the same.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's where I
missed
went back
that.
up.
Yes. Okay. Thank
Good
you.
questions. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
You
Dawn.
guys are awesome. Thank you so much. If you need me, you know where to reach me by email, 5028@fletchermusic.com, or call your PA at your nearest store if you've got one, and then they can actually set an appointment with you, and you can go in and you can say, okay, Dawn gave me this, and I'm stuck. Help me. And they'll be able to follow it and help you with that as well.
And
Okay?
what's the number for Patreon again?
What's the what?
The number for Patreon to get,
Patreon.com/Fletcher Music Centers, or just go to the website and it'll say, it's at the bottom of the website. If you scroll to the bottom of the first page, it should say, find us on Patreon here.
okay, yeah, I know that. Okay,
Okay.
thanks. Thanks.
Yep. Okay, great. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
You are.
Thank
you.
you, Dawn.
Have a fabulous
Okay,
weekend.
bye. Have a
Fabulous
good
day.
one.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes.
I know what's on it. I know it's on.
You don't know what's on it
I
because
do.
they've never gone there.